Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba, not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha. It's Yahweh Shah. So I got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing his truth and believing his truth, where the four winds of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening learning. Yifu sisters who are listening learning. Mazai from Jim Solano Camp. Coming at another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another day of edification, Lord willing. This be edifying. So I titled this lesson. They lied about the lies that they lied about, and still they lie and steal. And still to this day, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, the elites, they lie and steal. Lord willing, this be edifying.
Israel is and always has been a failure, and it is Israel is and always has been a failure, and it is and always has been a fake country, a fake power, a fake success. They have always lied about their competence, lied about their capabilities, lied about their skills, lied about their courage, and lied about everything else. They've only existed because they had a function for the American power structure. But now, even the American power structure itself is rapidly losing its own functionality within the context of a national private sector power and the OCGFC. Look, America's share of the global GDP has drastically declined. I don't know if you've been keeping up. The world is not the way you think it is. In 1960, America's economy represented 40% of all global GDP, almost half. Well, today in 2024, it's 15%. The BRICS nations have a greater share in global GDP than the G7. You know, America spends more money on military funding than any other country, but a huge percentage of that is due to overcharging, fraud, wasteful spending, or just money that's unaccounted for. Their spending does not equate to military power. If you subtract from their military budget all of the money that is literally just fraudulent, then America spends less on its military than China does. Not to mention China's standing army and auxiliary forces are roughly double that of America's. Despite the hype, America's global military presence is half today what it was 20 years ago. Even their soft power is nothing like what it used to be. De-dollarization is rapidly increasing. Foreign purchases of U.S. Treasury securities have dropped by around 20%, which means people are losing confidence around the world in the American economy. Even fewer and fewer foreign students are choosing to study in the United States. Their cultural influence has dropped below Japan. Even American brands are finding it harder and harder to penetrate global South markets. Their reputation and their prestige has absolutely tanked. By any metric that you can think of, the United States is declining as a world power. Their relative influence is in retreat, and they're becoming increasingly isolated. Okay, all of this has serious ramifications for Israel. And I think that they have either not fully comprehended that, or else they are in denial about it. But no matter how you look at it, Zionism has no future. And in fact, everything that they're doing to try to secure their future is actually only ensuring their demise.
And as we all know, and as we all know, that's great facts. Hold on, let me run this back. Got to run this back one more time.
Israel is and always has been a failure. And it is and always has been a fake country, a fake power, a fake success. They have always lied about their competence, lied about their capabilities, lied about their skills, lied about their courage, and lied about everything else. They've only existed because they had a function for the American power structure. But now, even the American power structure itself is rapidly losing its own functionality within the context of a national private sector power and the OCGFC. Look, America's share of the global GDP has drastically declined. I don't know if you've been keeping up. The world is not the way you think it is. In 1960, America's economy represented 40% of all global GDP, almost half. Well, today in 2024, it's 15%. The BRICS nations have a greater share in global GDP than the G7. You know, America spends more money on military funding than any other country, but a huge percentage of that is due to overcharging, fraud, wasteful spending, or just money that's unaccounted for. Their spending does not equate to military power. If you subtract from their military budget all of the money that is literally just fraudulent, then America spends less on its military than China does. Not to mention, China's standing army and auxiliary forces are roughly double that of America's. Despite the hype, America's global military presence is half today what it was 20 years ago. Even their soft power is nothing like what it used to be. De-dollarization is rapidly increasing. Foreign purchases of US Treasury securities have dropped by around 20%, which means people are losing confidence around the world in the American economy. Even fewer and fewer foreign students are choosing to study in the United States. Their cultural influence has dropped below Japan. Even American brands are finding it harder and harder to penetrate global South markets. Their reputation and their prestige has absolutely tanked. By any metric that you can think of, the United States is declining as a world power. Their relative influence is in retreat, and they're becoming increasingly isolated. Okay, all of this has serious ramifications for Israel. And I think that they have either not fully comprehended that or else they are in denial about it. But no matter how you look at it, Zionism has no future. And in fact, everything that they're doing to try to secure their future is actually only ensuring their demise.
So let me get this next clip here. We can drop that. So that was sent to me. So then I saw this today, and I think it go right with this. So this guy, Rudy Giuliani, read this article. The Lord is bringing down Esau Edom. Got a few precepts I want to go. Where is it? This is Rudy Giuliani. It says, Rudy Giuliani must give control of luxury items, and he defamed judge rules. It reads, a federal judge on Tuesday ordered former Donald Trump attorney and New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani to turn over all So that's what Esau do when they get butthurt, man. But it don't bother me. It don't bother me. So again, let me put this back up and show you these devils be doing what they do. At night is when the flow of this 5G usually be good. But the so-called white man is hurt, man. These bastards that control Google, man, YouTube is hurt, man. So bear with me here, cause this is how they play. Like Good Miles said, one monkey don't stop no show. So just wait here. Bear with me. I'm get this off the damn screen. Again, read this again. Esau, there we go again. Ain't even click on this. So again, Rudy Giuliani must give control of luxury items in Manhattan apartment to Georgia election workers he defamed, judge rules. And the buzzword, this word defamed, they've been doing this to the Hebrew Israelites since they've been in power since 1492. Now, I'm gonna read this again. It says, as a matter of fact, let's just leave it right here. I'm gonna read it from the phone. Let's read it from the phone. Since they want to act an ass. So again, it reads, a federal judge on Tuesday ordered former Donald Trump attorney and New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani to turn over all his valuable possessions in his Manhattan penthouse apartment to the control of Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, two Judite women, the Georgia election workers he defamed and to whom he now owes $150 million. Judge Louis Lyman of the federal court in Manhattan said Giuliani must turn over his interests in the property to the women in 7 days. That's crazy. Completion. 7. To a receivership they will control. The judge's turnover order of the luxury items is swift and simple, but the penthouse apartment will have its control transferred so Freeman and Moss can sell it potentially for millions of dollars. The women who counted Georgia ballots after the 2020 election will also be entitled to about $2 million in legal fees. Giuliani has said the Trump campaign still owe him. The judge ruled. So these two Judite women, the judge done ruled him to pay them, man. And the point I want to make in this is the so-called white man is losing, man. This is the Lord showing us that they are losing. Now, the precepts I was thinking about is these. First, I'm going to get Psalms 55 and 22 because the Lord said, let's read this. Psalms 55 and 22. Now consider this, ye that forget God. Now consider this, ye that forget God, lest I tear you in pieces and there be none to deliver. So the Lord, so these Edomites have forgotten the Lord, man. Altogether, And 2/3 of Jake that forget the Lord, this is the one that intervenes in everything in your life. Whether you acknowledge it or not, it's the Lord. This is Psalms 127:1. Except Yahweh build a house, they labor in vain that build it. Except Yahweh keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. So the house that the heathens is building, the house that 2/3 are building, they building it in vain, man. That's on a matter of time before the Lord take it. Now, this is Job 22. I mean Jeremiah 22. So this is the Lord talking to Jehoiakim, right? King of Judah. So I'm reading this and like, man, this fits perfectly for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This is what it reads. This is Jeremiah 22:13. It reads, woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work. This applies to the so-called white man to the T. And shalom to the occupant. I'm up tuning in. Yahweh Shema Shah Barakathon. Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him. Now, this is the Lord talking to Jehoiakim, but this applies to the so-called white man. And 2/3 of our people that trust in the so-called white man, that's going to continue to hold hands with the so-called white man until the Lord cut them down. Because when the Lord pluck up the roots of the so-called white man, what foundation will you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians have when the Lord pull up their roots? And that's why I say in Isaiah 36:6, lo, thy trust in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So, so when the Lord pluck up the roots of the so-called white man, what are you 2/3 Jakes going to have to hold on to? What will you be grinded in? It's going to be nothing left, man, because everything that the so-called white man has done has been in vain. Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that useth his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work. This is the Lord talking to Jehoiakim. But this applies to the so-called white man. Verse 14, that saith, I will build me a wide house and large chambers, and cutteth him out windows, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. Shall thou reign, because thou closest thyself in cedar, because thou closest thyself in cedar? Did not thy father eat and drink, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with him? He judged the cause of the poor and needy, then it was well with him. Was not this to know me, saith Yahweh? But thine eyes and thy heart are not but for thy covetousness, and for to shed innocent blood, and for oppression, and for violence to do it. So this is what the Lord is saying to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, because he had built his foundation on blood, man. Usury, violence. Now, when you go to the law in Exodus 22, let's read some of this. Just a little bit of this. This is Exodus 22:1. If a man steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, if he shall restore 5 ox, it say he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him, because he got caught. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, but he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his death. And when the Lord returned, when Yahweh Shem Yahushua, when the Heavenly Father Yahweh send Yahushua, the Edomites ain't gonna have nothing but the clothes on their back, man. And I'm talking about the elites, because everybody else is gonna be dust, smells of smoke. So we talking about the elites now. The Lord is pointing fingers right here. The Lord is giving us specifics in whom He's talking to. This is talking about, this is a law. If you steal and take, again, this reads, Exodus 22:1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 ox for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he shall make full restitution. If he have nothing, which the elites will have nothing when the Lord return, then he shall be sold for his theft. That's why the elites gonna be the first bulk of slaves in the kingdom. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, what is it, Exodus 21:16? Let's read it. I'm right here. If the theft be found in his hand alive, this is Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So back in Exodus 22:4, if the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. That's what the Lord say, we're gonna get double. If a man shall cause a field, and the so-called white people gonna drink double of the Lord's wrath. As we receive double in righteousness, the wicked gonna receive double in wickedness. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn, or the standing corn, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindleth the fire, he that kindleth the fire shall surely make restitution. Who helped burn down the temple? Who helped destroy the land of Jerusalem? The so-called white man. When you go to it, said if he kindled the fire. First Ezra 1:45. It reads, First Ezra 4:45. What Esau do? He helped, man. This is verse 45. First Ezra 4:45. It reads, Thou hast also vowed to build up the temple which the Edomites burned when Judea was made desolate by the Chaldeans. And then they did it again in 70 AD. So they got to make full restitution. Just as the judge made Giuliani pay 2 Judite women in Georgia. It say all his valuables, man. This is Job 20:18. And it reads, that which he labored for shall he restore. This is why I read the law in Exodus 22. This is Job 20:18. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. See, this is what the Lord done to this bastard, man. This nigga gotta give, he gotta give it all up, man. Just for defaming 2 election workers, man. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away an house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. This was coming to the so-called white man and America. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fear of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Which is talking about those missiles, those intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is Proverbs. Actually, nope. Let's go to this Job 27. I saw this and I thought about these precepts. This is Job 27 and verse 16. Though he heap up silver as the dust and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. And though these two Judite women ain't innocent, the judge gave them right to divide this man. It's all his valuables he got to give to these women, man. This is Proverbs 15, 27. He that is greedy of gain, trouble of his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. This is Proverbs 28 and 8. It reads, he that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. And that's talking about Yahweh Shema Shah. This also is Ecclesiasticus 14 in verse 4. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul gathereth for others. They shall spend his goods riotously. And these women is going to spend this man's goods riotously. Because the Lord had this judge to get these women. Let's read this again. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered former Donald Trump attorney and New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani to turn over all his valuable possessions and his Manhattan penthouse apartment to the control of Ruby Freeman, a Judite woman, and Shay Moss, the Georgia election workers he defamed and to whom he now owes $150 million. Two Judite women. the Lord, they was already wicked. The Lord just made them famous overnight, which further going to destroy them, man. Or not. Maybe they can get the money and look out for the brothers up there in Georgia, man, which I doubt. But I just want to make the points, man. These people is losing, man. Everything that they have done, they have built it. The Lord is destroying it because I read the Psalm 127 and 1. Let's read it again. I didn't want to make this too long, man. Hey, the Lord got a law on when you take, man. And they got to make full restitution, man. Psalms 127 and 1. Except Yahweh build a house, they labor in vain that build it. Except Yahweh keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. Right? And who built these cities? It was built off the blood, sweat, and tears off the backs of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. And America is built on it's full of blood, man. This place is full of blood and got to be destroyed. And as Proverbs say, because the Lord control the minds of these people. But the Lord don't they tell you in James, when a person say now it was the Lord that made you right to be wicked. Was the Lord made the so-called white man to be wicked. But the Lord don't tempt us with wickedness. This is what's that? Proverbs. Is it 29? I think it is. Yeah. Proverbs 29 and 12. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. And the ruler is the one that lied about the lies that they lied about, and still they lie and steal. This is what is that? Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can an Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. The Lord made the so-called white man to be evil. This is Job 14 and 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. The Lord made them to be wicked, man. The Lord set up the perfect adversary. This is also Ecclesiasticus 34 and 4. Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? No truth can come from out of this, man. They are wicked. The Lord made them to be wicked, man. And they have built their house off of own blood, sweat, and tears of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, man. And now, because Esau, I love to read that Psalm 73 when Esau said, Lord, when thou awakest, Psalm 73 and 20, oh Lord, when thou awakest, thou should despise that image. See what the Lord doing to this guy here? Weinstein. This man, we talk about the Hollywood mogul, man. Movie mogul, man. A lot of these actresses went through him, man. And then they gave his ass 23 years, man. We talk about what you did for the least to sit you down right there, man. 23 years? And this guy from the 70s show, he just went to prison for some old charges, man. The Lord is really getting back at these Edomites, man. But it's beautiful to see this old bag, man. And the buzzword they say defamed. He defamed them. Well, this is happening to the prophets, man. What is that? 1 Corinthians. This is happening to the prophets, man. Just like it. Let me get this. 1 Corinthians 4 and 13 it reads, being defamed, we entreat, we are made as the filth of the world, and are the offscouring of all things unto this day. See, this is happening to the hopeful elect, man. So to show you how spiritual this is, man, the so-called white man defamed these two Judite sisters, a Judite, Evite demons, I'm sure. And he gotta give up the bag, man. 150 million plus his penthouse. He got to sell, or they get to sell it. It's turned over to them, so they can sell it. Oh man, this is beautiful. But I just saw this, then I thought about this clip. I thought about this clip here. Let me run this one more time before I close. Let me see if I can pull it back up. Bear with me here. Pull it back up. Play this one more time before I close out. You have to watch to the end. Come on. What's that? Psalm 68. The Lord is making their own tongue to fall upon themselves, man. Their own tongue is falling upon themselves, man. Let me read that. Psalm 68 and Psalm 64. In verse 7 it reads, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. And this also is Job 15:5. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty. Thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thy own lips testify against thee. So YouTube is taking too long for it to come up. So what I'm gonna do is play it from my phone. Let's do that. Let's play it from the phone. How about that?
Israel is and always has been a failure. And it is and always has been a fake country, a fake power, a fake success. They have always lied about their competence, lied about their capabilities, lied about their skills, lied about their courage, and lied about everything else. They've only existed because they had a function for the American power structure. But now, even the American power structure itself is rapidly losing its own functionality within the context of a national private sector power and the OCGFC. Look, America's share of the global GDP has drastically declined. I don't know if you've been keeping up. The world is not the way you think it is. In 1960, America's economy represented 40% of all global GDP, almost half. Well, today in 2024, it's 15%. The BRICS nations have a greater share in global GDP than the G7. You know, America spends more money on military funding than any other country, but a huge percentage of that is due to overcharging, fraud, wasteful spending, or just money that's unaccounted for. Their spending does not equate to military power. If you subtract from their military budget all of the money that is literally just fraudulent, then America spends less on its military than China does. Not to mention, China's standing army and auxiliary forces are roughly double that of America's. Despite the hype, America's global military presence is half today what it was 20 years ago. Even their soft power is nothing like what it used to be. De-dollarization is rapidly increasing. Foreign purchases of U.S. Treasury securities have dropped by around 20%, which means people are losing confidence around the world in the American economy. Even fewer and fewer foreign students are choosing to study in the United States. Their cultural influence has dropped below Japan. Even American brands are finding it harder and harder to penetrate global South markets. Their reputation and their prestige has absolutely tanked. By any metric that you can think of, the United States is declining as a world power. Their relative influence is in retreat, and they're becoming increasingly isolated. Okay, all of this has serious ramifications for Israel. And I think that they have either not fully comprehended that, or else they are in denial about it. But no matter how you look at it, Zionism has no future. And in fact, everything that they're doing to try to secure their future is actually only ensuring their demise.
See? It's great facts, man. Everything that the so-called white man is doing is bringing them to their demise, man. The Lord was edifying. I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, and the bishop, and elders of great millstone, who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles, and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth to the four winds of the earth. You tell your world share light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening learning. If you sisters who are listening learning. Throughout tuning in, may you have Hashem Shakatin blessed in your houses. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. Till next time, I say Shalom, Ball. And I got a couple pieces I want to close with. Let me see here. It's bringing their demise, man. And the reason why, I read Psalms. I was reading Psalms 50 and 22. Let me read it again. Let me get this other precept. See, it said the Lord is not in none of their thoughts, man. This is Psalms 50 and 22. Now consider this, ye that forget God. At least I tell you in pieces, and there be none to deliver. See, the Lord is not in none of their thoughts. Let's read this in Psalms 10 in verse 4. Psalms 10 and 4. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all their thoughts. So, and I read Psalm 127, it said, except the Lord build a house. Because I was going to read Haggai 1, starting at verse 2, about how the Lord said, Jake, right? They put their money into a bag with holes in it, right? Well, this applies to the so-called white man too, man. Jake said they building and dwelling in their seer houses while the Lord's house lie waste. So the wicked, the Lord is not in none of their thoughts, man. So everything they doing is in vain, man. So in what's that? Is it Job? Yeah, Job 21, right? It reads this. Job 21 and verse 13, it reads, they spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. That's what 2/3 say. Remember what 2/3 say in Malachi 3? I'm gonna read it. Job 21 and 14. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? See, this is the same thing Jake said, because right here, Esau said, let's read again. This is the same thing Jake said. Again, let's read again. Job 21 and 13. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him? You want to profit in everything. So this is what Jake said. And see, that's what the Lord said in what is that? Jeremiah 5 and 26. My people have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. So that's what Esau said in Job 21, 14 and 15. Well, this is what Jake told the Lord. Malachi 3 and 13. Your words have been stout against me, saith Yahweh. Yet ye say, wherein, yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee? Ye have said, it is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinances? That's what Esau said in Job 21. What profit is it if we serve the Lord? Ye have said it is vain to serve God. So they serve the so-called white man in vain. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinances and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord Yahweh of hosts? See, 2/3 of our people don't want to walk mournfully because we don't supposed to be prospering. See, and now we call the proud happy. Yeah, they that work wickedness are set up. The Lord gave them over to their own vile affections, like in Romans 1. Just like you got the rainbow slaughters, the Lord gave them over to their wickedness. What he gave 2/3 over to their wickedness completely, just like the heathens. Yeah, they that tempt God are even delivered, man. Delivered to do their wickedness. Because as it's said in Revelation 18 that the so-called white man wickedness got to reach to the heavens, right? 2/3 wickedness got to mount too. The same way, and the Lord is doing, and Paul wrote about it in Romans 9. Matter of fact, let me get this. Let me get this. This is what the Lord told Abraham. Is it Genesis 5? Not Genesis. What is it? Hold on here. Let me pull this up. Bear with me. Can't think right now. I'm too excited. Genesis 15. Okay. A little bit, I was a little excited for the moment. My brain wasn't even registering. So Genesis 15, right? In verse 16 it reads, let's read this. This is Genesis 15. Yeah. In 16, this was the Lord told Abraham, but in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. Right? So the iniquities of the so-called white man is not yet full. The Lord told Abraham, we're going to go back to the land of Israel, but the wickedness of the Amorites is not yet full. This is Genesis 15. So at that point, this is why the Lord told, this is Numbers 13 and 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, send thy men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel, of every tribe of their fathers. Send ye a man, every one a ruler among them. So the Lord sent 12 spies to spy the land of Canaan, right? So this was the time that the Amorites' wickedness had came to a full. So that's what the Lord said. And Paul wrote it down in Romans 9, right? He say, Romans 9, and reading the point. Romans 9 and 17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I may show my power in thee, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. So the Lord has raised Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, up to the height where his wickedness got to be like the Amorites, right? His heart got to be lifted up like the heart of Pharaoh, because the Edomites is the modern day Pharaoh, Egyptians. So, man, this is heavy. But 2/3 wickedness, let's read this, has mounted up like Esau's, man. And they saying the same thing that this man is saying or has said about the Lord. Jeremiah 5 and 26. For among my people I found wicked men. Right here, verse 25, the Lord say, your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. For among my people I found wicked men, they lay wait, as he that set a snares. Who is the he? The so-called white man. They set a trap, they catch men. So it say, they lay wait as he that set a snares. So to prove this point, this is Psalms 10 and 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor. He lie in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So this is what 2/3 of Jake doing. Jeremiah 5 and 26. For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that set up snares. They set a trap. They catch men. See, it's a as he that set up snares. So they learned it from the so-called white man, and Jake has perfected the wickedness of the so-called white man. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxing rich. They are waxing fat, they shine, yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge. See? And the Lord said that about the Edomites in Isaiah 10. So to show you, man, the Lord said, except the Lord build his house. This is what the Lord said in Haggai 1, that you need to be. Man, let me read this, because Jake should be trying to take part in building of the Lord's house. Because taking part in building of the so-called white man's house, this house from the fall, man. Haggai 1 and 2. Thus speaketh Yahweh of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come, that the time that the Lord's house should be built. Then came the word of Yahweh by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your seer houses, and this house lie waste? Now therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little. You eat, but you have not enough. You drink, but you are not filled with drink. Why? Because you don't own the vineyards. Where the grapes and the wine come from. You don't own where the water get made at. But you are not filled with drink. He clothe you, but you are not, but there is none warm. Because you don't control the fabrics. You don't control the cotton industry or the polyester or the silk industry or the linen industry. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. Why? Because you don't control the plantations. You don't control none of the cargo that come in on the freights at the ports. You don't own the ports. The so-called white man does. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build a house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith Yahweh. Ye looked for much, and lo, it came too little. And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why, saith Yahweh of hosts? Because of my house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house. So if you ain't building on the Lord's house, that means you building on the so-called white man's house. And as it says in 1 Corinthians 10 and 21, ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, and the cup of devils. You cannot be partakers of Yahushai's table and of the table of devils. You can't do it. So either you building on Yahushai's house, or you building with the so-called white man. And the Lord said, if he ain't built the house was built in vain. Who built it, man? That's what the Lord said in Acts 7:48. He don't dwell in a temple made with hands. Because who made them churches? Vain hands, man. The Lord ain't in there. So anyway, give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakak. What I thought tuning in. May Yahweh Bashim Yahushai continue blessing your houses. May the blessing of Alexi be upon your houses. Till next time, I say Shalom, Wa Abba Abba. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Shalak Rayam, Wa Anashim, Wa Abadim, Wa Haradim, Wa Mashapayim. All call Adawanyam, Wa Gawaryam, Wa Yab Yamna, Wa Bakasha. Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, the water Amma. Shalom.